So the slope of a line is rise over run. And the slope of a line can be found using the rise and the run, always working left to right. Okay, we always want to work left to right. Now you can work right to left as well, but I'm going to always work left to right. And well, we didn't come with the same slopes, but for now, let's do that right there. So here's a line. Now you notice this is a line with two dots on that line. This point right here. Now again, this isn't labeled, and maybe we could quickly label here 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6. I need to get a little better at labeling all my graphs on my notes. It looks like -2, -4. Maybe that'll be my next little project. This is the point here, -4, -2, and this is the point 4, 5. Okay, so those are our 2 points that it's going through. Let's determine the slope of this line. Well, our slope, or M, is rise over run. And so what we're going to do is we're going to find the rise and the run of this line. The rise is the vertical change. So how we can do this, and this is one way to find the slope, is to make a triangle either on the top or the bottom, and I'll do both just as an example, as to show the rise and the run. Now this is a right angle triangle. Okay, don't get too afraid. We're not going back to trigonometry here. We have a rise here, so from here to there we have a rise from -2 to +5. Because we're going up by 1, we can count them in this case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have a rise of 7. And then we have a run from -4 up to +4. Again, it's going up by 1, so we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 8. Now, if we're not going up by 1s, then we have to be careful with how we find that. And there may be an example or two later on, but we've got to be careful with how we find those slopes then. It's not necessarily going up by 1s. All right, so this is our rise right here, and this is our run. Now, when we put that in, M is our rise is 7 over 8. Okay, we then simplify this, which we can't because there's no number that we can divide evenly into both 7 and 8. So this right here would be the slope of the line. Rise of 7, run of 8. Okay, now if we were to find another point farther off the screen here, okay, we would go up 7 over 8, and that would give us our next point on the line, and that would be along this nice straight line. So it would have the same slope on that second part of the line. Now I'm going to go through this as well. There are 4 types of slopes that we could have, and in those cases, we're just going to look at a couple different names. The first one, okay, is a line that looks similar to the one that we just drew. And I'm actually going to draw pretty much the same one. Okay, you'll notice that this one, when we're working left to right, it is going up. Okay, this one rises from left to right. It's like you're walking up a hill. Always going to walk left to right. That's what we're going to look at. We're going up. When we're going up like that, this is a positive slope. Okay, you'll notice that the example we had above has a slope of 7 over 8. That's a positive number. This is a positive slope. Now we haven't done an example like this yet, but we will get to one where we could have a line that goes like this. Or if we're working left to right, it is going down. Okay, so this one drops from left to right. When we have something like this, it is the opposite of a positive, and so this is a negative slope. Okay, so when it's going down, that is going to be a negative slope. It's going down, and negative will actually be in the answer. When we find our answer, it will be a negative. So those are the 2 most common slopes that we're going to see, but there is a couple other ones that we could have. We could have a completely horizontal line, something like this. Okay, so a line like that. Move it up a little bit. Okay, this is a horizontal line. Now the rise of this line is 0 because it's not going up at all, and the run will be whatever we choose it to be. Anytime we take 0 and divide it by a number, we get the number 0, or we get a 0 slope. Okay, so that in that case we have a 0 slope. The other example that we could have as well is if we have a completely vertical line. Okay, so a vertical line. Now if we take 2 points here and try to find the slope, we're going to have a rise of whatever we choose. So we're going to get some sort of rise, and our run is going to be 0 because we're not actually changing our run at all. So we're going to get some number here of x, and that's going to be our rise. Should have actually called that y, and we're going to divide it by 0. Now if you want to try it on your calculators, take any number and divide it by 0, and you're going to get an error. We call this an undefined slope. It's a vertical line. It's an undefined slope. We don't actually have a name for it, and it's not actually a slope. It's just a straight up and down line. It's a flat, or it's like a cliff. We can think of it that way. But those are the 4 types of slopes that we could have. We could have a positive, a negative, a 0, or an undefined. And for the most part, we're going to be dealing with these 2 here, positives and negatives.